So, hello everybody to the live stream. Let me know if you can hear me. I just need to switch something on here and then I should be good as well. Yeah, okay. So I think it should all be good. Sound should be good. You can see the screen. That's great. Today, another CPI day. I don't know, I don't know how much volatility today will generate. I mean, the last few CPI days, they were quite disappointing, to be honest. By the way, maybe someone could confirm if you can actually hear me. I think it should be okay. Just don't want to talk and nothing happens and you can't hear me, but should be okay. But yeah, I don't know how much volatility it's going to generate really. Okay, sound good, great, thank you very much. By the way, hit the like button, that would be great, because we, it's only like, what do we do, 45 minutes, 1 hour maybe, it's sort of around the CPI date, time, event, yeah, so the report will come out in half an hour, unless I'm completely wrong about time, date. I'm completely mixed up with what day it is and whatever. It's crazy, but yeah, no, it should be good. I think 8:30 Eastern time. That's here 1:30 UK time. That's 12:30 UTC. Whatever. It's 2:30 German time. So that's when it comes out. What I'm a bit unsure about is how much volatility we really get. Normally you expect some volatility on a day like that. However, the last few times were very boring, very slow, a bit of a non-event really. That was obviously related to, I think, the idea that, well, basically CPI came always in as expected pretty much. So it didn't really trigger much. It was already priced in. Didn't even trigger short-term volatility. Also, it was pretty clear, I think, to the community, to the investors, traders out there, that the Fed will only do maybe one more interest rate increase. Now, this time could be a bit different because now they announced in the last Fed meeting that any further increases will be very, very much data driven. So I think they really said they will focus on the data, and CPI inflation is of course the data. So that's why I think today could be a bit of volatility. It obviously depends on what's coming in and coming out in terms of the data, which I don't know, but we're going to take a look what's forecasted now. And but they seem to be very data driven now. At least that's what they say. You never know. But yeah, it's basically half an hour. Oh no, I don't live in Canada, Maria. No, that's not correct. But yeah, I'm from Germany. No, I'm in the UK actually. I'm in the UK. But yeah, half an hour. And let's take a look at what's actually expected for today in terms of numbers. So I always use the investing.com website. I try to use it. I need to use an ad blocker next time. It's really horrible. Here. So this is obviously inflation. That's month over month, what we can see here. And we can see that for today, the forecast is 0.4%. Yeah, last time was 0.1%. What does that mean? It means a 0.4% increase month over month, which means inflation is increasing again. Yeah. I mean, inflation is increasing anyway. It's just that the speed of inflation is increasing again. So month over month forecast 0.4%. Anything lower than that would be rather bullish for crypto. Anything higher than that, typically bearish. 0.4%, probably a bit of a non-event really, then nothing will happen. So that's the forecast month over month. The other one that's important is year over year. Here's the forecast 5% as it was previously. So again, here, lower than that will most likely be bullish, higher than that, rather bearish for crypto. You can see a nice decline here year over year. So it is reducing, at least the increase in inflation is reducing. We're far away from deflation, but it's coming down slower than the Fed would like. Yeah, we're still hanging around 5%. They want to, so it's too high. Okay, then we've got core CPI year over year. That's still higher. That actually increased recently, and that can run a bit hot. I think more and more focus will be on core CPI now. Now that's forecast at 5.5%. So again here, lower than that would be rather bullish, higher than that rather bearish. I think that's sort of just to summarize it, and then we can pay attention when the numbers come out. Please put it into the chat, and then we can talk about that, because you might see it earlier than I do. Yeah. Okay. So just have a look at the chat. So by the way, if you could, in the meantime, hit the like button. That would be really helpful and great. Okay, Adrian just asked, what would be a normal percentage change? I mean, what again? Fed would like to have, like, I think 2% is sort of their target, but it's way too high with 5% year over year. So that's way too high. It won't be 2%. It will be somewhere around 5%. And I think it will be pretty close to what the forecast is, really. Yeah, okay, thanks for everybody who's here today. And yeah, we're going to take a look at just, if you want some charts, we have 20 more minutes to cover until CPI is coming out. So happy to look at some charts for you. Just had one question here already, render. And I think render is currently going as planned, because the idea was to break out of that wedge pattern to the downside to complete that leading diagonal there. We're currently coming down, and expectations were to hit now that support level of the trend channel, and I think we might get there, ideally at least. At least at the moment, the daily MACD is still pushing down. There is nothing there that would tell me it's bottomed. We had that bearish divergence here in the previous video. I highlighted that for a possible trigger to the downside if that trend line here breaks. We had enough waves to the upside. So yeah, the problem with the diagonal is always you never really know when it's finished. It's difficult, or when it's going to finish. Now I assume it will be finished, but what I would expect is that this is going to be a lengthy ABC structure. So next could be a B wave bounce and then the C wave down into the support area between 80 cents and 147. But for confirmation, I'd like to see the trend line break here. Actually, we could get that bounce here in the B wave off the trend line. Let's see. But yeah, chances are, because this move up, took like months, that the correction will also take a couple of months or so. So okay, I have to, obviously lots of requests coming in. So yeah, we look at just randomly pick some. So GMX was a question. I mean, GMX is now in support. It really needs to turn around now. So it is in support now. But at present, I think it doesn't make any impression. It will turn around. It's now at $59 actually. So it really needs to turn around now. Yeah. Now, okay, in 20 minutes we've got CPI that can move things around, but it should have held 60 for further likely upside. Now it's still in the support range. It's just that below $60, things are going to get a bit unlikely. If it recovers now, all good. Yeah, but if it continues to drop and then also lose 57, I think we face a much deeper pullback. I still haven't decided how I would view the chart then, because it's quite a choppy chart. It's not a very clear one, but the idea was that this was a 1-2, here another 1-2 setup. The only other idea, the only other idea I have would be to say, okay, this was a wave 1 then. If we break below that level, then this was an A wave. Yeah, we had an overshooting B wave, and we can come down a little lower. Oops. But that would only be the alternative at the moment. But it's obviously at the cusp of breaking this sort of primary. So then wave 2 could come down a little lower. Not too much lower. We would then be talking about, let's see. But that would really, I think that's sort of the last bullish option here. 49.32 would then be support. Yeah, but not sure. It doesn't. Yeah, okay, A wave up, B, C, in an overshooting B wave. That would sort of be the fallback scenario. But ideally it's finding support here. It just doesn't look like it at the moment. But then, on a day like that, things can change very, very quickly. So what I tell you now could be wrong in half an hour. It could have just completely changed. So Thomas asked, had I been in trouble in finding an answer? Are movements made in aftermarket hours also valid and part of Elliott Wave counts? Obviously in crypto there is no pre and aftermarket. Well, I mean, whatever happens after market typically would be written into the chart, wouldn't it? So it's just a chart that we look at, really. But yeah, generally everything that happens in the market, would be valid. I would count it, because it's still part of the it's still part of the price making process. So by in crypto we don't have that problem, but yeah, we typically count it all in. But then it's probably not worth updating, for example, a stock chart after market. Yeah, it's typically during the market hours, which is most relevant. So plane flying here. Okay, so stacks. I think I haven't updated stacks for a while. It's not one that I cover very often, but I do have a chart. So let's see what happened actually. Okay, so we had two support areas here. The first one has clearly been broken now. What was the count here? A, B, yeah, A, B. Okay, yeah, so we had two ideas. So the first idea was that this would be an expanded flat, which it could still be. A wave down, B wave up, C wave down. On the flip side, this 1-2 setup is still valid. It's just that we dropped below support, below the orange support level. So that's probably less likely. I will take that off the chart because we've nearly reached the yellow support range. Anyway, now stacks it looks strange, that chart, I have to say. But chances are that we completed here a 5-wave move up in a wave 1. We came down in an A wave, down on the 10th of March here, overshooting B wave. And we're now coming down and see for another 1-2 setup, this is actually too low now. But it still has a good chance to move up from there as long as it's holding that 38-cent level. So there's still quite a lot of room to go. If we look at Fibonacci extensions, this looks like a flat pattern. So what we normally do, we take the length of the A wave, we go to the high of the B wave, and then a typical Fib extension target in such a flat is the 1.618 extension that would point towards 47.7 cents. That's something to watch, yeah. You've got the golden ratio there at 52.4, and then here 47.7. They are levels to watch. At the moment, there's no indication it's bottomed or bottoming. Yeah. So I think we're still in that C wave here. And below 38 cents, however, something more bearish would be going on. I think it's not the most reliable chart anyway. I don't like the look of this. But actually it is okay for an overshooting B wave, isn't it? Let's just double check that. They can normally retrace 1.38, yeah. So yeah, probably overshooting B wave I would go with. And then this is the C wave down, and this is the area to watch in my opinion. So Bitcoin's moving up a bit, but no, it's just sideways movement, yeah. So yeah, 1 second. So I had a question here about GMT. Half rice, half chips. Asked for GMT. I think GMT is not a coin I normally cover, or I think I might have covered it once, but let's see if I have a chart actually. Don't think I have one really. Factor Co. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, at some point we'll do probably a meetup or something. MCO meetup somewhere. Don't know where. Dubai, London, I don't know. Anywhere. They're saying that I've never been to Dubai. Okay, what was okay, GMT. Okay, so yeah, that's an old chart. I will never touch that again. But the assessment seems to have been correct, sort of, you know, wave 3 down somewhere here. Just take that. It's all shifted a bit. The idea is that, okay, so wave 2, that we're obviously in a wave 2 correction, I think, after wave 1 up. It's a bit out of balance here, this chart now. Let me just move that. So yeah, wave 1 up, then yeah, okay, so what did we have? A, B, C to the downside. Yeah, okay, so the problem is how fast this came down, literally. B, and it could be an ending diagonal in the C wave. What I can tell you certainly is, I mean, this certainly looks like a third, fourth, fifth of A, okay? Whereas you could rather say this, okay, so alternatively maybe this is an A, then we had an A, B, C, and B. Doesn't make a difference. Problem is the look of this. So far, it looks very much like a three-wave structure only. So it might have a bit of a way to go, to be honest. Certainly nothing clearly bullish down here at the moment. That move up could have been 5 waves, but it's losing support just now. So also here, it needs normally to hold that 78.6 retracement. You can see we've already broken below the 88.7. So I have no hope that this will hold. Next support is obviously 22nd and a half. But because it broke below the 78.6 fib, it's most likely going to break that. Now, you can always get a reaction there, but it's very, very unreliable. And it's something I wouldn't have any confidence in. It's just come down too much. Yeah. And chances are we head to new lows then. Very, very likely, actually. So Jerry asked for Aptos. Is now also in support. So I haven't updated the chart. Let me just change the timestamp. So 10 minutes to CPI, by the way. Yeah, Aptos is also in the support region. I'm counting here a WXY structure. Similar count to Bitcoin and many other altcoins. I mean, that move up was impulsive. That move down is corrective so far. So you can just see how fast the move up was, how slow the move down is, how stretched out. It's just that the overall reliability of the chart is also low due to the short chart history. But we can use the Elliott Wave method to we can still use it. Just need to know that we don't really have that long-term trend history. Yeah. But yeah, next support is at 683 and then $5 basically. Yeah. But ideally it's holding 683. I don't want it to go below that. 683 is sort of the last reliable level of support. Should be okay. I mean, again, it all depends on what Bitcoin is doing, but it doesn't do so badly compared to other altcoins. What we can do, we measure the length of the A wave, we go to the high of the B wave, and the 1-to-1 ratio points towards that level down here at around $687. Yeah. So there's a bit of fib confluence there. Yeah, Panos asked about Jasmy. I think, as I heard, I just made a video obviously, so I'm not sure if you've watched it, but I heard afterwards that apparently the reason for the sell-off we just see now is due to Binance putting them on, innovation or something. They say they will delist them if they don't improve. Now that's a problem with many altcoins. Now the count doesn't need to change. We were in resistance in my last video and headed now down into support. That was the idea. It's just the way we come down was a bit too fast, and I'm not sure if we're going to hold support. At the moment we do. We need to see. I mean, this is now driven more by fundamentals, I guess. I mean, I think that the drop was already sort of built into the chart, but obviously there was a massive fundamental catalyst driving it. I'm not sure how bad sentiment really is, because this doesn't look at, obviously if this is a C wave down, we want to have 5 waves. I really only see 3 and I don't see any sign of stopping. Support is at 0.00479 and below that 0.0038. So that's really, but keep an eye on that. So what I said in the video is all still valid. So, but I wouldn't, I mean, this certainly, if anybody wanted to buy here, can't give you a personal recommendation or anything, but it's certainly, I think, worth waiting or reasonable to wait for a reaction at least, because this is just catching the falling knife otherwise. Okay, so we've got around about 9 more minutes to CPI. So Nick asked for Rose. I do actually have a chart for Rose, but I haven't looked at it for. Why do I have 2 Rose charts? Let's see. It's not a coin I normally cover, so it's probably outdated. If I haven't. Okay. Okay, so anyway, so the idea was that this is obviously an impulse that I counted here on the way up into February. And the way we come down now looks so far corrective. It's actually not doing too bad. So if we had a wave 1 to the upside, which ended where that blue vertical line ended, then this could be a wave 2. And in this wave 2, this looks impulsive on the way down. So probably an A wave, the move up as a B wave. And ideally this is a C wave and ideally we don't need much more downside, because again, wherever we have an impulse, we need to track the 78.6 retracement. Let me just check if I picked the high here of the, yeah, pretty much okay. So ideally it doesn't drop below 4.4 cents. That's the critical support here for me. That makes sense that this is an A wave because it's so impulsive. Yeah. Okay, you can probably get away. It's a lot of overlaps in there to count it as a correction, but I would say A wave, B wave, and 3 waves. Yeah. Normally, so this would be a flat pattern. In a flat pattern, you have a high B wave, and it certainly reached perfectly the 88.7% fib level. That's normally what you would expect as a minimum for a high B wave in a flat pattern. So it probably is a 3 wave move down here with the high B wave. So flat. So it's going to be either a running flat or an expanded flat. Unfortunately, these have quite a they have quite a large variation in terms of how low they can go. From a wave 2 point of view, it shouldn't go below 4.4 cents, but we can use the Fibonacci extensions to calculate a target for the C wave a little bit more accurately. And well, there's normally 2 levels to watch out for. One is the 1-to-1 ratio. That's actually slightly below support. I wouldn't say that's the problem. So that would be at 4.2 cents. If we find support there, it could still go, because it's not, this support is not for invalidation. It's sort of the level below which any further increases will get less likely. The 1.618 is too far down. So ideally 4.4, okay, maybe 4.15, but that should really be it. You know, that's sort of the last reliable support I have really on this chart. But so far the move down looks corrective, the move up looked impulsive. So we've got 5 more minutes. 1 second, I just need to check something. Had a message here that I need to check. 1 second. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's look at what else do we have. Yeah, I don't have an updated chart for the S&P, so it's very complex. Can't look at that now. Let's look at mask. The S&P is a ton of work to do. We might do that in one of the live streams, maybe one of the member live streams. Yeah, here still coming down in 2, getting difficult now for it, for mask here. The bulls really need to show up now. This is sort of, again, in my opinion, last reliable support. What do I have below that? This is where it's going to get unreliable. So this is at the moment I'm counting it as a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup. It would officially be, I mean, what's the alternative? Just thinking. The alternative count, but it's just not the most likely one, you know, that you would be looking for. The alternative is we came down, all of this was an A wave, then we had A, B, C in a high B wave, and now we come down in a C wave, something, whatever. And yeah, it would allow it to drop much lower. But for me, it's now very close to support. Very close to it. Either works here or in that alternative wave count with alternative support. But that would be the last reliable support. Then we talk about $2. Yeah, so that's in my opinion where it should turn around here. And if it doesn't, then there's a tight stop here. Below that level, it has a good chance to come down quite a bit lower. I think we have support then around 265, the previous structural support here, and then $2. Below $2, all bullish potentials are gone on this chart, in my opinion. It's already now a little bit choppy on the way up. If this really is an overshooting B wave, certainly could be. Let me just check the retracements. Yeah, I mean, it reacted to the 1.38 retracement. Certainly could be a high B wave. It all depends what happens today, I'd say. You know, in a couple of minutes, let's see what the reactions are. These are certainly the two potentials. 359 is important support, but if it drops below that, again, I've got structural support at 263, 260 roughly, and then $2. So 2 minutes, no, 1.5 minutes. So let's see what's coming out. Again, post it in the chat, please, if you see the numbers before me. Sometimes investing.com, they're a bit late with updating. What's Bitcoin doing? Bitcoin is recovering a bit, I think, at the moment. No problem here. Nothing that would be outside of the scope of this particular scenario. So I guess we are having a look at the chart now for another minute. So Jacob, I'm not sure what you mean with good coins to watch, but AI coins, certainly the ones that I cover normally are Fetch AI, Edgix, Vayot, but that's quite weak at the moment. And I think VXV was one as well, but there might be better ones out there. Well, say better ones. I think the ones that I cover already are the ones with the most reliable charts, but the charts are also not great. Okay, so at the moment it's a bit of we had a few meme coins that rallied, but again, then chart analysis doesn't really help you with the meme coins too much, because it's very quick pump and dump sometimes. I think Pepe is suffering at the moment. So yeah, it should be coming out any minute or second. So let me put in the chat if you see it. I try to update here investing.com, but again, sometimes other websites are a bit faster. Certainly not up there yet. BTC, what is BTC? Oh, BTC going up, so that's probably lower than, so we probably had lower inflation. 5.5. Inflation rate is 4.9. Actual 4.9, so that was lower than anticipated. Core is 5.5. 4.9%. Yeah, that was lower than forecasted. Surely. Wow. It's going up. So let's see. I mean, resistance here for Bitcoin is 28,220. Okay. So if it's pushing higher, this could still just be a Y wave. But that's resistance for the fourth wave. If it pushes higher, it's certainly good for altcoins. I can tell you that. But then it would not count as a wave 4 anymore. I would then count it as an extension of the B wave, most likely, right? But let's see, the first reaction sometimes on a CPI day is fake. So this is still the resistance. So let's keep an eye on that. I don't know, it's not bearish, because someone said it's bearish. No, but 4.9, let me just open that here. If we go to inflation, no, because inflation forecast was 5%. So it's 4.9. Yeah, it's actually, it's good for crypto. Yeah, it's bearish for the dollar. It's good for crypto typically. So we have an initial bullish reaction, even though inflation is of course higher than than the Fed wants. And core was, I think, as anticipated. So I don't think this will be too much volatility today, because also here is like the market anticipated 5.5. 4.9 is a little lower, and what was month over month? Okay, 0.4 is basically what the market expected. Just year over year is a little lower. So initial bullish reaction, yeah, nothing too major in my opinion. I think the idea here is, as I said before, you might not have been here, that because the Fed said they are now very much data driven, if inflation comes down a little lower than anticipated, it might be, bullish, right? Because they are so much data driven now, and they said they will further interest rate increases will very much depend on, is inflation getting further out of control or is it coming down? And because it's coming down quite strongly, not strongly, no, that's the wrong word, but it was a little lower than anticipated. Obviously, you see a little bit of a reaction here. Now, that reaction is now extremely good for altcoins, but I don't know how lasting it is. So Ethereum certainly has more space into resistance here. This could be a wave 2 still. Resistance for ETH is between 1878 and 1913. Bitcoin resistance here all the way up to 28,220. So I think we'll get further info when the stock market opens. This is just initial volatility. I wouldn't take that too seriously what we see at the moment. It can often go the other way around afterwards. Certainly the charts don't really suggest an impulsive breakout. What would be okay and acceptable is a corrective move up on the Bitcoin chart. Let's see, what do we see? But again, altcoins not doing much. So not doing much, any of these. Let's see if Render is doing a bit. I mean, you could at any point, you could get that B wave start now. What else do we have? I said Harmony 1 is doing quite a bit, which is healthy, or not healthy, but good, because Harmony 1 came down so much. It's really in deep need of a reaction. Could just be doing this wave 4 now, Harmony 1. That's actually part of the game here. It's part of the plan. Yeah, get that fourth wave in. I remember that on IMX we were looking for a fourth wave bounce. That was due. It's probably doing it now. Yeah, very small wave 4 bounce here probably now on IMX. But also overall, this green candle is not enough to say we're going bullish, right? Matic. I think on the Matic chart we were also waiting for a wave 4 bounce. Yeah. So at the moment I have reasons to believe that this is just a wave 4 we're doing here. On Matic, yeah, on some altcoin charts. Ethereum pushing a bit, but only into resistance at the moment. Bitcoin also only into resistance. It's at 38.2 Fib level is normally the ideal target for a fourth wave. So we see lots of wave 4s at the moment in crypto. I mean, you can always push higher. Depends a little bit on the stock market now, I guess, as well. Oh, Coroni asked, well, about Gala. Gala can go up at any time. I mean, it's now in the support zone, yeah. I mean, also here, maybe it's just doing this fourth wave now. It's a bit hard to count the subwave structure here. Maybe it's just doing this fourth wave, but it is in the support zone, yeah. And from anywhere in here, it can turn around now. It's very much allowed to turn around at any time. It doesn't necessarily need the 5 waves down, because it could always be just a WXY structure, and then you only have 3 waves down. Yeah, so you never really know. It's just in the support zone now for a wave 2. At the moment, obviously, there is not enough information to say we are going up. At the moment, this is just a 3 wave move up. Just a bit of an initial reaction, really. So a few questions. ADA. And by the way, in the meantime, just if you could click that like button, that would be very, very helpful for the stream. ADA going up a bit. Let's see. Yeah, but ADA, so if it's going up, this is probably still in the wave 4 then. Yeah, unless it's already doing the 1-2 on the way down. So it's not really any, it would need to break above that E wave high to invalidate that triangle as it is there. And that's above 36.6, it's not there yet. And to really invalidate the triangle completely, because it can always extend, it would need to move above 37 cents, which would not automatically be bullish. But note that ADA obviously hit the golden ratio. This is a key level of support. It's also in the support zone. So yeah, Gala might be doing this fourth wave. I just saw a question there. The question here about Solana. So yeah, this at the moment just looks corrective for now. Okay. This could also just be within the third wave here. If I was to sketch out the subwave structure at the moment, probably this is what I would go with. That we're also just doing here a subwave 4 of 3. Yeah, it's a bit choppy, so there are different interpretations possible here. Let's see. I mean, again, also Solana can go up at any time. It hit the support area, hit the 50% retracement. That's formally enough for a wave 2 correction. Just that we don't have a clear impulse yet to the upside. But let's see. I mean, it can always surprise on the upside. But for now, yes, we see a bit of green candles, but that's just part of the current wave count, really. Okay, apparently injective is going quite well at the moment. Okay, not really. It's a bit of a green candle there. Yeah, this is lost support. I mean, at least wave 4. This is I wouldn't count this anymore as a wave 4 now. It could be still technically, but I wouldn't really want to count this anymore as a wave 4. I mean, it's a 3-wave move down so far, but the problem is it broke below the 50% retracement. It's just very unlikely it's still a wave 4. It could technically still be, so it might still be worth maybe tracking it. But yeah, I mean, it's not in trouble yet to go to anything bearish. I mean, this is certainly still a bullish option here, but what could it be? The problem is we have only off the low in December, we only have 3 waves up so far. It failed to hold a reliable wave 4 support, which would have been, let me just measure that. Reliable wave 4 support here, 682, didn't hold it. Now, okay, could we say we measure it like that from this swing low? Okay, then it's still holding the 50% retracement. That, however, would need, but then it's not reliable, because then I would have to take out this subwave structure and would have to say that the third wave was already here. This is the fourth. Don't like that view, that look, because the subwave structure doesn't really align. It's possible though, I guess, you could make it work, but then this is support now. I mean, it's whenever you see something like that and you have support somewhere sitting and you have a possible turnaround, it can turn around now clearly. It's just one green candle at this stage. So as long as we're holding that, certainly it could go up now. It's a significant low now, but if we lose that, we're losing also this 50% retracement. It will come down quite a bit, possibly even down to 373. So a stop loss below that level might be reasonable, and see what it does really. It's still in support if I measure it like that. It's just that this low needs to hold, because I think if we break below this low now, after such a small pump like that, it's over, and it's just normally then doing completely the opposite, because then the bulls weren't able to hold support, and it would typically then mean quite a bit of a drop, and next structural support is somewhere down here around 360, which is quite a lot. But not saying it will happen in one straight line, but Yeah, I mean, the good news is the move up looks fairly impulsive. The move down is only in 3 waves. So as long as it's holding that low here that was made today, the focus could be on higher. It's just a not high rely, not I don't trust it really. But it's certainly yeah, potentially a significant low that's been made here. Yeah, surely. Okay, AVAX. Oops. So far reacted here also to the golden ratio. I mean, similar to what we have on the Solana chart. In the C wave here, we might have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one more leg down in the C wave maybe. Yeah, so far also looks corrective. Had quite a long wick there. That often gets filled. So again, at the moment, until we can count on a lower time frame now, 5 waves up, small 5 wave up and 3 waves down, which I'll keep you updated on anyway, then I wouldn't be too confident about a breakout to the upside. It would need to prove it first. But it's good to see some reactions to the upside. Okay, so obviously we need to wait. I mean, Jasmine shows a bit of a reaction now to that golden ratio there, which is good. At least it tries. At least it tries to. Gala. Yeah, so I guess now we need to see, how does the stock market open? Is this movement sustainable? It would be good to have a bit of green for the remainder of the week after the first half of the week was quite bearish. Well, let's have a look at dots, and then I'll, let's do dots. Oops, dots. Okay, so dots also in this ABC correction. I think no change to the previous video, hovering around the golden ratio here. To really confirm we have bottomed here, it would need to break out of the yellow support zone, in my opinion. So far, it's just dancing on that fib level there, right? So there's not much going on. And then, but yeah, I can turn around at any time now. Looks to me a little bit, well, okay, A, B, yeah, the C wave down, 1, 2. So yeah, I don't have strong evidence it's bottomed here yet, but it's in the support zone. So let's see if we see a reaction there. At the moment, it's not enough. I'm skeptical about this sort of bullish reaction at the moment. And got Chainlink also in support, reaction to the golden ratio. Link is allowed to go up at any time now as well. Yeah, it would actually be quite healthy for Link now. And bullish support is $6. But no change to the count here so far. It's been quite slow over the last few days here. And okay, so let's look at Phantom, because Phantom suffered quite a bit last few days. Found support now, which is good. It really needs to break above next resistance at 45 cents. If we break above 45 cents, I will assume we have bottomed in wave 2. Until then, it's still possible to reset that B wave here, that B wave low of the 10th of March. And support here is 35 cents and then 26.8 really. Yeah. So yeah, it's good that Phantom sees a bit of a reaction. Bitcoin going up a bit. It will be interesting to see if we get that higher B wave there. Yeah, this looks like it's pushing Bitcoin. I did talk about it. I don't know if you watched my Bitcoin video from today and said that, if we get a surprise pump, it would really be good for the altcoins. So let's see. It's the 28,220 level that will tell us that we get a bit of a higher move in most likely what a B wave would be. Yeah, so an extension of the B wave, either in the triangle, that we get an extended triangle. In that case, the D wave would sit here. See here, and there's one more leg up in an E wave. Okay, so that's technically from a triangle extension point of view possible for Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay, I guess, I need to close the stream now. It's been nearly an hour. I have quite a busy schedule today, actually. So thanks all for being here. I'll update with more videos later anyway. I need to update the opportunities video for the channel members now. So I promised to publish the second half today. So I have to do that. Got another call later. Got some more videos to do. So quite a bit busy schedule. And therefore I need to close the stream now. I guess short-term trend is up now. I need to see if those intraday lows are holding from today. Prices can certainly push higher, and however Bitcoin would need to prove that it's something bullish at the moment. It's all still within the range, so not too much happened, but a break above 28,220 would indicate that this is a B wave instead of just a fourth wave, whereas Ethereum is still a bit weaker and has just only touched resistance here. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, for being here again for this live stream. Have a great day. Thank you.